Okay, so I turn 39 in just a few minutes, like about 40 minutes. That's a decent pour. I kind of always wanted to do this. So here's the setup. I think I've already explained it, but it is about, I don't know, 47 minutes until midnight. My 39th birthday. It's my last little bit of being 39. Here's the 38. Sorry. Oh, that's good. Thanks, kid. So I'm only 38 for a little bit longer. And I look forward to... I've asked ChatGPT to research me and ask me 25 questions. Let's start. So here are the 25 questions that ChatGPT has asked me before I turn 39. So, number one, as you turn 39, what are your biggest personal and professional goals for the coming year? Personal goals are to continue to be happy. I am in love with my beautiful wife, Briasha Cole. Our two darling kids, darling though maniacs they are. And I want to be happy personally. I want to continue to be happy. I've had some moments of just some extreme fun, and I want to keep it that way. And I'm at a point in my life right now where I have friends so good that I call them family, and I am in love with my wife and my kids, and it's a great place to be. Professionally, I've been blessed to be at the place I work for 11 years. I think I've become a better manager, a better leader. I have a really good team around me, and I have a lot of freedom where I am. I appreciate that. As I go to 39, though, Argyle Rebel is the name of the game. You know, there's God, family, Argyle Rebel in my book. UNC Chapel Hill's around there, too. Anyway, so professionally, it's time to get Argyle to where it needs to be. Looking forward to working on our first feature-length film, Highway 86, following by a bunch of other films. I look forward to helping people tell their stories, and really kind of pushing down the blockade that is old school Hollywood. I don't believe in what they stand for, and I really want to tell stories in North Carolina the Argyle Rebel way. Question number 2. I should have started this earlier. How has your journey with Argyle Rebel Film shaped you both as a filmmaker and a person? Good question. I think that it's been a long road. And that long road has seen my evolution. I know it's pretty vague, but Argyle Rebel Films, which was originally known as 1025 Productions, came and was born from my need to tell stories, to tell my own stories. And I've done that. Lastly, with Save the Dad Bod. Before that, with GC3, The Great Country Club Caper, and GDI. I have really worked hard to vocalize my opinion and my view of the world. And now I'm coming around the corner, really wanting to help other people tell their stories, help other people share their view of the world, and to paint a picture of the state of North Carolina, the great cities and towns that we have here that affects us all. 100 counties of amazing storytelling. And I really want to help kids younger than me, people older than me, folks who have picked up a camera who haven't, tell their stories. So I think Argyle has affected me and has changed me, is that I'm very confident in what I do. I'm confident in how I speak. And I really am never going to stop. Ever. There's always stories to tell. Good question, ChatGPT. What inspired you to start Argyle Rebel Films, and how did you come up with the name? Same thing. I was inspired because I needed a platform and a way to tell my own stories, and I that's where it came from. I felt very much as a storyteller left-handed, even though I am left-handed. I've always felt that, whether it's because I was the youngest of 3 kids, because I have a stutter, because I'm black and a mostly white world I grew up in, or what have you, I always felt like an underdog. And so I created Argyle Rebel Films to fight that and to tell my stories and to give myself a space. And I fought to give myself a space. And the name came from that idea. I came up with the name in 2009. I want to say, right around the time Obama got elected, which was at the end of '08. And I was a preppy kid in college, wore a lot of Lacoste, Polo, Brooks Brothers, and I really loved Julian's at Chapel Hill. So Argyle, the name Argyle came from Julian's, because Alexander Julian brought that to our school, right? And Rebel, as I say often, because there's not one rule I will not break to tell a good story, and that's where the name came from. So Argyle Rebel is kind of a paradox, right? It's the two different ends. It's the king and the jester and then the rule breaker at the exact same time. And I appreciate that. I love that. Okay, question number 4. Looking back, what lessons did you learn from the challenges you faced with GC3? Yeah, so for those of you who do not know, GC3 was my second feature-length film, my second feature-length script that I wrote, and the second film I directed. The Great Country Club Caper was probably one of the most humbling moments of my life. I was very cocky when I wrote it, very cocky when I made it. Had an amazing cast of my best friends in the whole world. Ross McKinnon, Giannis Tiblova, Ben Williams, Courtney McClooney, Jessica Martin, and all these people are married now, so they're different names. Tyler Pollard had a cameo, Anka Gupta, and of course, Scott Liebfrain was in it, and of course Matthew Tilley, and myself, and Mike Miller's in it. Pretty much everyone in my world was in this movie, and I loved it deeply. Loved it so deeply. It was a big script. We didn't film all the script. I was cutting it the morning that we debuted it on. I think it was April 23rd, 22nd, 2010. And the movie sucked. It bombed badly. People laughed. My tagline is that people laughed a lot, and it wasn't a comedy. And I learned that you can't just bullshit a movie. You can't just hope and pray that it works out. You actually have to have skill and know what you're doing when you're making a movie of that caliber. And I didn't. I failed badly, and that definitely hurt. And because of that, I actually stopped writing for a little bit. My dad told me, "Hey, you got to figure out how to make a story, tell a story," and it was pretty shitty. So I stopped writing for a long time. Well, it's not true. I didn't stop writing, but my confidence as a filmmaker was shaken. So what I learned, actually, ultimately, when I look at that with the gaze of 2024, I wish that 23-year-old kid never stopped making films. I wish I would have said, okay, that sucked, and I would have just kept on powering through and making more films and more films. I made shorts, but eventually I stopped, and I haven't made a feature-length film since then. That's changing with Highway 86. But I wish I would have kept on going. I wish I would have understood at the time that failure is a teacher, and that it leads us to better work, better caliber stuff. So I learned to never give up and to appreciate failure. That's what I learned from GC3. Ooh. Question number 5. How did surviving kidney cancer at 26 influence your perspective on life and storytelling? Great question, ChatGPT. I think it kind of magnified my somewhat devil-may-care mentality, my rebel mentality. Finding out you have cancer when you're 26 years old and you're engaged and you're plotting the future of your life, and then something hits you, had kind of become part of my DNA. I've told the story before, but I graduated a small private school from a small private school in Raleigh when I was 17 years old, about to be 18 in October. I got into UNC Chapel Hill. which was amazing. Came to UNC. My family had gone through a really bad financial time, and because we still owed that school money, we did not that school refused to send my final transcript of my diploma to UNC. So in January, I think it was January 12th, 2004, I had to leave UNC, which really sucks. I really wanted to be there. And my father having a heart attack when I was younger, just like there's several moments in life where every time I thought I got started, I stopped. And same thing, I actually reapplied and got back into Carolina once that debt was paid off, and I finished school only like about a year or two after I was supposed to, even though I had to take some time off because of the whole financial issue. But I went back and I made movies and I graduated. I got a job and fell in love, and I was doing really good. But here, once again, I was being stopped. And I think by the time I got to that point, and I think, praise God, the fact that I was able to survive a 8-pound tumor and the removal of my left kidney, I think that I it's not even that I don't take things for granted. I just sometimes don't care, in the sense of I don't let things bother me. I'm not an anxious person. I don't have anxiety, which is a blessing. I know a lot of people in my life do have it. And I've had to learn really hard to kind of work with them. But I think having that issue at such a young age and compounding with other issues, I think that I just soldier on. I think my father said it very well in Save the Dad Bod, which is I just keep on going. He was talking about himself, but I just keep on going, and that's kind of how I feel about what that experience gave me. I think being a husband and father probably taught me a lot more than the kidney cancer did. Okay. Question number 6. Can you tell me more about your upcoming projects like Highway 86 and Buck? What themes do they explore? Ooh. I'm not going to talk much about Buck. I will talk a lot about Highway 86. I will say Buck is the best thing I've ever written, and it's only going to get better. And it's a really cool project. I think Highway 86 is the first time I have collaborated in a very long time. My earliest collaborator was Robert Adrian Hatfield, Hats as I call him. And we wrote GDI together and a couple plays and really a lot of our shorts. And that was a very influential big thing for us. And then working with JMM, who's a dear friend of mine, my little sister, working with her on Highway 86 made writing fun. Our collaboration is more than just writing; it's business, man. I really do dig working with JM Square, and 86 is about work. 86 is about class. 86 is about freedom. I would say, if I had to put it in one word, it would be freedom. And it's about what happens on a random Friday at 1:00 in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, when you're just fed up with work. And it's a whole lot of fun. It's a psychological thriller. There's just some great scenes. I'm super stoked about bringing that one to you all. So here's to 86. And Buck, like I said, we'll get to Buck. I don't want to talk too much about it, but I'm very excited to be working with Donovan Livingston with Buck and some other great producers. Jalen's working on 86 with us, and Ankit has definitely been a big influence on 86. So I'm looking forward to Argyle bringing 86 to the masses. Okay, we got about a little less than half an hour, a little more than half an hour. Number 7. What is the mission behind Argyle Rebel film series, and what impact do you hope it will have? Wow. Okay, the Argyle Rebel film series is not something I've talked too publicly about, and I'm not going to talk too much about it now here, but listen, I think there are people who love film, right? I think there are people who love film, and I think there are people who want to experience film with other film lovers and filmmakers. And I think there should be a space. And that space is the Argyle Rebel film series. So hopefully that'll be coming up in, if not 25, 26. I think it's somewhat of an extension of the film festival. And it's something that, it's a membership that I can't wait to extend to the film lovers out there. All right, I'm trying to go a little bit faster here. 8. How do you plan to support and collaborate with independent and emerging filmmakers through your work? How do I? Okay, yeah. So, independent filmmakers, emerging filmmakers, student filmmakers. That's why we have the Argyle Film Festival, right? It is my job to make sure that these folks have a platform to tell their stories. When I was first making films in my 20s, I didn't feel like I had a platform. This is before YouTube. This is before social, really. And I didn't feel like we had a place to tell stories. Now, yeah, now we have YouTube, we have Vimeo, we have places where if you want to click and see people's work, you could. I just feel like it's not. Excuse me. I feel like it's just not really popping enough. I don't feel like it's cool enough. So it's my job to create a space where folks can tell their stories and people can see them and hire them and work with them and they can collaborate and just have the conversation happening in a way that I personally haven't seen it. There are people who I truly respect who say, oh, no, we definitely have spaces for filmmakers. I don't see them. And you might say, well, your head must be too... Yeah, maybe it is, but I don't want to Google and I still don't see it. So show me, or I will create the space. Who are some of the filmmakers or artists that continue to inspire your creative process? Richard Linklater, Spike Lee, Chris Nolan, my hero Quentin Tarantino, Wes Anderson, Robert Rodriguez, Coen Brothers to some degree, Mike Myers when he's doing his Mike Myers thing. Yeah, I mean, my favorite filmmakers are, like I said, it's Spike, Tarantino, Linklater, Wes Anderson. I'm sure there are other, like Chris Nolan's in there. Those are the dudes that I get excited to watch. Ava DuVernay, I love some of her stuff. Yeah, I mean, those are the folks that I geek out to watch. Artist, I love music. I mean, I'm a big John Mayer fan. Very controversial, but Kanye has been my lifeblood for a long time. Jay, Cole, Drizzy Drake, Kendrick, Kung Fu Kenny, Cole. Those are the folks. Justin Timberlake. These are the folks that I put on. Coldplay inspires the heck out of me. I love classical music. I think Andre 3000, 3 Stacks. I mean, the dude picked up a flute. He's one of the greatest rappers of all time. Picked up a flute, changed the world, right? Well, changed his world. I respect that. Wayne, M. How did I not say M? M is one of my top artists. So, yeah, no, I think there are definitely lots of folks. I wish I knew more like painters and sculptors and excuse me. Charlie Comerford is a local artist who I'm happy to collab with all the time. I love her work. Chris Everett, Mike Wiley. What? How am I not? Yeah, Mike Wiley, Rob Underhill. Those are dudes that I absolutely look up to and respect, and whose work challenges me. Other folks that local. Let's see, Nathan Posel, a guy who I look forward to collabing with very soon. It inspires me. James Square, she inspires the heck out of me. Yeah. Tyler Pollard, who's not necessarily an artist, but definitely inspires me. Phelps, all my mentors inspire me. Yeah, a lot of folks. Number 10. In what ways do you aim to challenge traditional filmmaking norms with your projects? So many ways. I don't believe in normal length of script. I say write a story until it's done, whether that's in 90 pages or 40 pages. I don't believe in full-on productions. I believe in, kind of Blumhouse, low-budget filmmaking. I don't know why we spend what we do on films. And maybe that's just my naivete, but I know how to make a film with one camera. I think I would call this right here a film, right? Make sure we're still recording. Yeah, and I think there's just I don't believe there's not one rule I won't break to tell a story. You know, that's how I believe. Wipe my nose real quick. Excuse me, moi. Make sure I'm not too mucusy for this whole thing. Okay, let's see. Keep on. How do you balance your roles as CEO, writer, director, and producer within Argyle Rebel Films? I'm a CEO. That's how I balance it. The first thing I am is a CEO. The other things are not my titles as much anymore. I used to be a writer, director, producer. I still very much feel like I'm a producer. I feel like CEO of Argyle Rebel Films is in part a producer, but I'm not burdened by just having to be one thing. But if I did have to be one thing, it is Chief Executive Officer of Argyle Rebel Films. It is my mission to help others, right? Not their mission to help me. So I am CEO. What motivated you to focus on telling stories that are often overlooked by Hollywood? My stories are being overlooked by Hollywood. Man, I gave a young college grad with a film degree today my Highway 86. He ripped it to shreds. And for the wrong person, because a lot of people like him are the ones reading scripts and saying whether this will go on, this will not go on. And that wasn't acceptable to me. I wasn't going to give my script to someone else for them to tell me I can or cannot make it. I will make my movies. I will tell my stories. And anyone who's on my team or around my team, I will fight to tell the stories. So it's really the fact that I wasn't going to be a filmmaker if I went the traditional route. I was probably going to end up like a caterer or something stupid because that's what they do with people like me. That's not a race thing necessarily, but kind of is to some degree. I just kind of feel like that they don't tell stories about North Carolina for preppy black kids who play golf and listen to NSYNC and or ride the bench on their basketball team. That wasn't what I was seeing, so I decided to change it, shift the paradigm, and tell stories that I care about. All right, we're getting faster here. 13. How important is the North Carolina community to your filmmaking, and how do you engage with it? This is a tough question. Take a sip here. Argyle Rebel Films is the number one film production company, film studio in North Carolina. That is an incredibly confident, cocky, self-righteous, and possibly incorrect thing to say. But who else is taking films from initial idea through production to distribution? It's just us. And I believe in Honeyhead Films. I believe in Speller Street. I believe in the work of Rob Under. I believe in a lot of those folks. And if they want to come to me and say, Michael, that's not true, great. But we are the number one film production company in North Carolina. And I will fight anyone who says otherwise. And I'm not saying I'm right. I'm saying I want to fight you. I want to have that conversation. I want us to inspire each other to make films. North Carolina means a lot. I believe that North Carolina is a hub between so many giant stories in American history. And I believe that we are the future of filmmaking in this country. And, we got a few rebates back. We need more rebates. We need to have way more productions here. We need to tell more of our stories. It is the lifeblood of Argyle Rebel Films being here in North Carolina. This whiskey's going straight to my head. 14. Can you share more about your approach to teaching youth how to make films and control the narratives? Yeah, sure. I'm writing a book about it called The Way of the Argyle. How to make a film that makes money and do it and do it 100% your way. So it's as simple as picking up a camera, grabbing your friends, writing a story, filming it, learning how to edit it, put that bad boy out. It's that simple. It is not rocket science. It is grabbing a camera, and we all have cameras now right in front of us. It is having the courage to tell a story, finding the people in your life who will allow you to tell it, and finishing it, completing it. That's one of the biggest things you can do. Just complete and finish the doggone thing. So that's my approach to filmmaking. It's very simple. I will outline it in the book, and you can take the book, buy it, or I'll give you a copy. I don't care, and we will and tell our stories. That's what's important. Okay, 15. What does the Argyle Rebel persona represent in your personal and professional life? I really want to quote Drake here from Headlines. I might be true. I might be true, blown out or confident, overdose of confidence, trying not to give a fuck and not. Let's find the line. Hold up, I'm gonna find the actual line. I'm gonna take a second to find the line. Drake Headlines lyrics. Ooh. I might be too strung out on compliments, overdose. I might be too strung out on compliments, overdosed on confidence, started not to give a fuck, and stopped fearing the consequence. Drinking every night because we drank to my accomplishments. That's Argyle Rebel. Too strung out on compliments, far too cocky, believing in myself as if I'm Adam Banks on the Mighty Ducks, and I'm the best skater out there, even though I'm a cake eater. It's funny how Charlie became the captain, isn't it? I am Tiger Woods in 2000 on Pebble Beach. I am Serena at her prime. I'm Jordan, Game 6. Take a pick. Argyle Rebel gives me the confidence to be my unique self. Just be myself. And I truly appreciate that. So that's how it is in my professional and personal life. Professionally, I will bowl down any company that gets in my way. Personally, I'll bulldoze any person that gets in my way. Bulldoze, excuse me. I blame this and Coach Mack. 16. How do you incorporate your personal experiences and background into your storytelling? I think that my personal experiences paint the scenery for my stories. I think they make every story I tell real. Most of my stories, I think, are about underdogs. Most of my stories are about people who feel a little left-handed, a little out. I think most of my stories are about people trying to gain some type of security or the upper hand, and finding out that maybe what they had, what they needed, they had all along. I think it's a lot of what my stories are about. I think whether you're looking at Buck or 86 or a lot of the ones coming up, I think they're about achieving something. I think they're about proving your own self-worth. And that comes a lot from my life and having to, again, having to be the third child, having to be the guy who people didn't necessarily count on, and wanting desperately to be the guy that they did count on. So, yeah. All right, let's round this corner here. 17. What are your thoughts on the current state of diversity and representation in the film industry? Sucks, but it's getting better. I think that there's still black movies, and white movies are normal, and black movies are black movies, and that's stupid. I think that there are not enough people of color or of just diversity in writers' room, so they're getting better. And ultimately, I think it gets better when we all tell our own stories. We help each other tell our own stories. That's when it starts to matter. All right. 18. This is a funny follow-up question. How has your preppy aesthetic influenced the style and theme of your films? It's kind of everything, right? I mean, I think you're going to see bow ties, you're going to see pastels, you're going to see BMWs, Volvos, luxury cars, and you're going to see a penchant for, you know, golf and pimento cheese sandwiches, and I think it's a big part of who I am. I think it makes an appearance in everything I do. The Julian style, the purveyors of Chapel Hill royalty. I think that's just very much in everything I do. Just like kind of Wes Anderson films, I think is kind of this Ivy League thing is there. I think preppiness, specifically Southern preppiness, is just kind of the backbone of a lot of my films. Some people hate it. I love it. 19. What advice would you give to aspiring filmmakers who want to tell authentic stories? Be fearless in being yourself. Once again, be fearless in being yourself. And don't worry that, people aren't going to connect. I think a lot of people love when you're just yourself. So I'm sitting here wearing a hoodie and not wearing, a bow tie right now. I love bow ties, but it's flipping 11:43 on my last day of being 38. I don't have time to wear a bow tie. I could wear a bow tie, but I'd rather wear a hoodie right now. And that's a change. I never would have worn a hoodies or jeans or Jordans or sneakers 20 years ago. Would not have. I would have been, hey, keep it preppy. So be okay with change and be okay with telling your truth right now at this moment. 20. How do you envision Argyle Rebel Films evolving over the next 5 years? More films, more people getting a shot, bigger sandbox with more resources, and just a lot more fun. We're having fun. We're gonna have a really fun time. I kind of want to end with 5. So, technology. I can't wait to talk about the technology components with Argyle Rebel Films. It's too early for you to hear about it, but the sandbox has technology in it. Sorry for the finger wave. Rest in peace, Matumbo. Okay. Ooh, don't mess that up. 21. We're almost done here, guys. How do you envision Argyle Rebel Films evolving? I already did that one. Sorry. 21. What role does your family, especially your wife Bria, play in your creative endeavors? She's my anchor. She's, in many ways, my North Star. She is the one who pulls me back from going too deep, going too far. She's the one that reminds me that the dishes are dirty and it's my job to clean them and the trash needs to be taken out. And she's the one I chose to start my family with, and I think I trust her more than most. And I say more than most because Tilly's up there, James Square is up there, Hats, Phelps, my parents. I'm a person who loves a lot of folks. K-Monst, love you to death. You're up there. But I think Bria is my anchor. And she's the one that I want to protect more than anything in the world. Her and our kids. Her and our kids. So, yeah, she's my raisins, etc. And I love her more than anything, except for my children and God. Go Heels. Okay. How do you stay motivated and inspired during the challenging times of your career? I let it be what it's going to be. That's something I think I've learned, and you can't force it. You have to just be happy with where you are. And when the stories come, when the shots come, when the chances to tell a story come, you have to be willing to walk into the face of your fear and just do it. Hope that answers that question. I'm trying to get through. I don't know how much battery I have left. So I stay motivated just by letting it be what it's going to be. Okay, what do you consider your greatest achievement so far in your filmmaking journey? Save the Dad Bod. Not perfect, but it's better. And it reminded me what's most important. I didn't realize Save the Dad Bod was about Bria and my family, but it was. And I got to film almost every member of my family, my immediate family. Save my sister. I'm sorry we didn't connect Tina, but it's a movie about my family, how much I love my family, and I think it just allowed me to understand what a film could be for me. And it was probably maybe the most personal film I've ever made. And beyond that, GDI. GDI was a culmination of a lot. And it was definitely, watching it 10 years, 11 years later, actually longer than that. Watching it 15 years later, practically, GDI, it's a time capsule to being a certain age and wanting a certain thing and completing that task. And for me, independent film too. 24. How do you approach storytelling across different formats like film, podcasts, and web series? I think it depends on your audience. I think a web series is very attractive because it's the closest we have to like old school radio. I mean, it's podcast too, but just like, a series is a cool way of telling a longer story and, kind of holding some stuff in the back pocket and showing it when you need to. I think film is bigger, right? But also more self-contained. I think that's a big thing. And I think that podcasts are just conversations that I love to have. Podcasts are probably the easiest because I just love having a conversation. A Dot Rebel is just me having a conversation with my best friends in the whole world of people that inspire me. And so, the easiest is probably the podcast because I don't think much. I just have a conversation. Web series are something that I really enjoy. We haven't gotten there yet, but we will get there. Besides Kill the Dad Bod, which was a fun series I missed very much and gave me a chance to tell really cool stories on a weekly basis. And then again, films are so dang hard. They are something I really love. It's something that I take very seriously. And being such, you want to make sure it's perfect. It's never going to be perfect, but you want to try. Okay, last question. I want to thank everyone for watching this far. If you have watched this far, it's been a lot of fun. This drink is still here, and I'm having a good time. And we still got 11 minutes until I turn 39. So let's finish strong here. Oh, that's a bite to it. It puts my hair in your chest, man. Last question. 25. As you reflect on turning 39, what message would you like to share with your future self? I don't know, future self on what age, but one of my favorite songs is called Father and Son by Yusef. Used to be Cat Stevens. Let's find the lyrics. Let's see, Father and Son lyrics. It's not time to make a change. Just relax. Take it easy. You're still young. That's your fault. There's so much you have to know. I think that's what I want to share. It's not time to make a change. Take your time. No matter where I go, no matter where I am, it's never time to rush. I made that mistake in the past, trying to rush, trying to be something I wasn't, trying to be something I wanted to be, and instead of just enjoying who I am. And I think that more than anything, I really love the fact that I am Michael Isaiah Washington. A kid who's turning 39 in just a few minutes. A guy who's madly in love with his wife. Passionate about his friends who are his family. A guy who wants desperately to put North Carolina on the map for filmmaking in a way greater than anything we've ever seen with respect to Dawson's Creek, Ninja Turtles, Cape Fear, all the Iron Man 3, all these great movies, all these great things that have been shot here. I want to see more. No disrespect. I just wanted to see more and I want to do more. So, one of my favorite ways of ending something is the epilogue by Puck in Midsummer Night's Dream. And it goes like this. If we shadows have offended, think but this, and all is mended, that you have but slumbered here, as these visions did appear. Gentles, do not reprehend. If you parted, we will mend. These are just my thoughts, my words. It's your time. I thank you for sharing with me. I thank you for being here for maybe the past 38 years and maybe the next 39. I don't know. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you on the other side. Be the rebel. Be epic. Be awesome. Be you.